I remember seeing Cradle of Filth in 1997 at the Worcester Palladium, and I'm just like a 13-year-old, just like jaw dropped watching these guys play guitar, just like, how the fuck are you moving your hand that fast?
Yeah, dude. It's so funny. We were talking to the guys from Meshuggah, and they had to start playing to a metronome because the drummer would play so fast that the guitar players, they couldn't do the licks so fast because their hands would cramp up. That's how fast they're playing. It's just like so many notes. It's just crazy. You're like, how are you playing so fast that your hands like can't continue? It's fucking,
that is
crazy.
And it's crazy to think too how different the trajectory of a band is, just in the sense that they, you know, we're talking about Meshuggah. I'm pretty sure that they've been together for like at least like 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still going and they're still killing it. Whereas like a rapper, to still have a career 15 years after you start is very, very difficult. Only a select few will be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to be massive. Like, I don't know. I think Pump turned the corner here with the new
The Kanye thing.
the Kanye video and all this stuff, and then obviously going to jail was the most brilliant thing ever. So, you know,
I mean, it's insane when you think about Pump, because he is basically like coming from like an underground rap scene.
Yeah.
And now he has a song with Kanye, and a lot of people like have completely forgot about the fact that Pump was like a kid playing underground shows in Florida like 2 years ago. That's how I met him.
Like
A year and a half
I was
ago,
gonna
pretty
say
much.
almost
Yeah.
less than that, man. When I just saw him recently, it was like we were talking. It was only like 7 months since Gucci Gang actually dropped, and you're like, what the like all this has happened, and and he's like, yeah, and only like 2 or 3 months before Gucci Gang dropped had he even started rapping. It was like, it's like Xan, like these guys just fall into it, you know what I mean? It's
And they have
like,
a hard time explaining why. They're like, I mean, like, hey, because, you know, people who interview him are always trying to ask him, like, why'd you blow up? I don't fucking know. I'm Lil Pump, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm cool. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, I feel like, again, like talking about like you interacting on like a very like human or internet level, I feel like you really set the internet ablaze as soon as you decided to like interact with Pump's, fascination with your former co-star.
Oh, dude.
I felt like that kind of set it off. They were just like, hey, man, I'll put in a word for you.
I don't know. I wonder. I have not talked to her about that. I don't know if she's seen it. I don't know. But it's funny, man. When I talked to him about it, he's like, I thought he was just joking. I thought it was just like a total troll thing, but he really likes her.
Right.
He's like, really? I'm like, dude, it's the only person he follows on Instagram and like all this stuff.
Maybe it's gone past being just a meme. And
it's way past that. Like that's what I thought it was. It really was. There were stars in his eyes, or hearts in his eyes, when he was like, oh man, you know, do you think she sees it? Do you think she sees it? I'm like, dude, I think everyone in the world
Imagine
sees
her
it.
comments.
Yeah.
They're all Lil Pump fans. I remember
Totally.
I went to the Harvard Instagram when he was following them for a while, and it was just like Harvard, I think, had to turn their Instagram comments off.
They must. I mean,
So classic.
it's so funny that he would actually ask, like, do you think she sees? Do you
That's
think
hilarious.
she sees it? I'm like, dude, you have 10 million followers, and you constantly tell them to go and comment on her Instagram. Yeah, I think she sees it, but who knows? I mean, maybe she doesn't go. She's a very simple girl, so who knows? Maybe she doesn't even read her comments.
I mean, she's. I'm gonna go on a limb. Probably not that interested in Lil Pump.
No. Knowing Miranda,
And
I don't think he's her type.
She's quite a bit older than him too, which might be a big part of the problem.
Yeah. I keep forgetting that. I always see her as still as like my
Right.
little sister. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, he's 18. She's a bit older than him. That might be kind of a weird
She's like
part.
25 now.
Yeah, but hey, maybe she'll go through some shit in her life. Like if
You never know. She might pull an Amanda Bynes. And
Yeah,
like,
you know, because that's what you got to do. You got to holler at a girl when she's at a moment of weakness, when something's really
Yeah.
bad going on in her life. Just be like, hey, I'm here for you.
Yeah, right.
You need a shoulder to cry on? Right here.
Crazy.
I got some deltoids for you. Yeah, man. So, okay. When did you first start to feel like you were actually like making it in the acting world? Like, I'm assuming you had quite a few years of just feeling like you were still struggling and still just sort of, well, I mean, you're like a little kid, but, you know, not necessarily being super successful. When did you start to like hit a stride?
Dude, honestly, what's so funny is I was actually talking to Josh about this the other day. When
That's good to hear.
When we were on, yeah, actually.
Well, I mean, that's the number one question that we're going to have to get into is like people want you guys to have this like death match planned.
Yeah, well,
Even though if they watch any of your prior interviews, they'd know
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
there's no
such.
death match. There's no death match. We're getting along and everything's fantastic. He's having a baby. It's gonna be wonderful.
You about banged my line
which is
after
wild.
this.
Which blows my mind. It's so crazy. What was I saying?
Just that you were talking to him the other day about.
Oh, yes, about how, when we were working on Drake and Josh, it was just like, there was no iCarly, there was no Victoria, there was no Nickelodeon hadn't had some big breakout success hit before us, and then so when we were making the show, it wasn't, and it was actually, and the time it was airing, it wasn't like we didn't have that, hey, we're on Big Bang Theory, or hey, we're on Seinfeld. Like, we're on a big successful show. We were just on this, like, Nickelodeon show that kids watch and whatever. And it wasn't until, 8-10 years later, now recently, even more now, that in interviews people treat the show like it's Seinfeld, or like it's the Friends, or like it's this groundbreaking, show that happened. And it, like, the nostalgia, and it's just crazy. So now when I go out and I walk around and I hang out, it's like, it's almost as if we were shooting the show now. It's crazy. So I don't,
Because like when you make a show for kids, the kids can't really be vocal about. Well, they can now with social media, but at the time, it's like, where's a kid really going to make his voice heard? So yeah, the Nickelodeon's happy, it's pulling in ratings and stuff, but you're not necessarily like seeing the ramifications.
and also I
right?
think at the time it was really viewed as like, oh, you were on a kids show, But now, with iCarly and other Nickelodeon and Disney shows that have come out that have done, almost crossed over into, they're getting just as much as many ratings as network shows, or they're just doing that. It's sort of all just kind of blending together now. So I don't know. It's weird. In the past like 5 years, we've seen more excitement and love for the show, and yeah, even though kids grow up, but there's really no demographic. It's crazy. It's like there'd be a 6-year-old who wasn't even alive when the show was airing, and there'll be a 35-year-old who's was probably 20 when the show aired or something like that. It's just crazy. It's just there's no demographic. It's become Full House. That's a good example.
Because a 6-year-old kid can probably watch it, and they
Yeah.
have no concept of like, oh, this is dated.
Of
This
what
has
it
been
is,
out for a long time.
And we never did anything. We never mentioned the Kardashians on the show, or we never mentioned any pop culture, any references on the show that would go, oh, this show must be from that era or something. So it's it's just, I don't know.
How old were you when the show started?
15 or 16.
15. So you already probably kind of felt like I'm doing a kid's show, but I'm 15. Did it already occur to you that like there was an interesting dynamic going there?
I thought it was so rad because I grew up on all that and Keenan and Kel,
Right.
and so I just was so stoked. I was like, dude, rad! I get to be like Keenan and Kel, like the stuff I grew up on.
And
like,
you're
this
kind of
is so
like the cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was very cool. But yeah, I mean, the show's basically become like Full House. It's there's it's a family show, or it's geared towards a certain demographic, but everybody grew up on it. Everybody's watched it, everybody's seen it. So it's like, yeah. So the answer to the question is more recently. Yeah, we never got to experience that. Like, hey, we're on a hit show.
Right. Hey, I just want to say this before I forget: is that a couple of years ago I interviewed Noah Monk.
Oh, yeah,
aka Gibby from iCarly. So I'm slowly sort of like completing this whole universe of like child actors and stuff.
Dude, you would like rock the world if you got Lil Pump and Miranda Cosgrove in here together.
Oh my God! Imagine I just somehow set it up and
Dude,
she
I'm
didn't know
telling
it was
you,
happening. We
you're
locked the
only-
doors.
You're only what 2 degrees away. I mean, a text message from me.
But
a
if you
text message
FaceTime
from
her
you.
right now, do you think she's picking up?
No, no.
And
way.
if you message her, I'm about
No
to FaceTime
way.
you with Lil Pump, and then no,
No.
You think
no.
she's what is she doing?
We can FaceTime Lil Pump though.
That's true. We could FaceTime Lil Pump. No, wait, he's
It's,
he's not with us right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can't FaceTime him.
He's at large.
Yeah, we'll FaceTime Jordan.
Or wait, no. What do you say when someone's locked up?
Free pump. Free pump.
Free pump. That's what you
Pump.
say.
That's a fact.
Yeah, free pump. No, but that would be pretty amazing.
I like that you are low key like wanting this to happen. And you're like, I think Pump deserves a chance.
I honestly, man, here's the thing, and I'll just say this. I was big brother before I met Pump. I was like, dude, come on, man. Like, leave her alone. Like, this, it's enough already, bro. Like,
Right.
she's not in, you have tattoos on your face. Like, it's not going to happen. She's not, you know. But then I met him, and he's really nice.
He's
like
perfect for her.
He's like, I would, dude. And he's like, you think she sees it? Like, he wasn't like, yeah, I want to smash that. Like, yeah, I want to. Like, he was very respectful, you know.
Right.
I was like, oh shit.
Okay,
all
but
right.
I'm
like,
not sure you know about
maybe
this
I'm in,
this
maybe I'm
scenario,
down.
but there's a rapper Comethazine who has at least like 4 times basically said that he wants to like either date or have sex with Demi Lovato, and then she overdosed. And I started to think like, what if all those lyrical references to her sort of pushed her over the edge? She's like, fuck it, this fucking drug addict kid is rapping about me. I'm getting back on the sauce.
Dude, that's brutal.
Is that possible?
I don't think so.
We don't blame Comethazine for her rapping to her?
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay,
No.
yeah. Here I am. I'm sort of insensitive.